everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing another ABH makeup tutorial. Anastasia Beverly Hills recently came out with a new palette, and this is the Soft Glam palette. Oh my goodness, as you guys can already tell by the shades, this is like a very beautiful neutral rosy tone palette. You just have such a good variety of matte shades which are very blendable and pigmented. Like, I used every single eyeshadow in this palette, you guys, and I personally think that it didn't turn out muddy. It was so easy to work with and to blend everything out, and I believe I paid $42 for this, so it was pretty decent. It's not too expensive, but it's also not drugstore. Even though this is a soft glam eyeshadow palette, the makeup look is very dramatic. That's how I personally like to test out eyeshadow palettes, to see if they're actually good or not. I like to try out a lot of the shades in the palette and see if they do work together, if they are very blendable, and if they do complement each other. So I mean, I would say they do. Starting off with our eyes, I already filled in my eyebrows. We are using the Soft Glam eyeshadow palette, and everything is falling out, but that is fine. As you guys can see, the colors are absolutely stunning. First things first, before you go in with any kind of eyeshadow, you want to prime using a concealer or some sort of primer. So I'm using this one from Smashbox. After we worked that in, I'm going in with this shade called Burnt Orange, and this is going to be our transition shade. So I'm just slapping this all over my lid and crease and buffing this out as much as I can. This is going to be like our blending color, and it's just gonna help all the other colors blend in really nicely. So you just want to use a big fluffy brush and just apply that evenly all over your eye. Next, I'm going in with this shade called Orange Soda and just taking that right on top of the burnt orange eyeshadow. That little white thing was bothering me, and finally, oh, that feels so good to just take it off. So after we did that, I'm going in with Dusty Rose and applying this to the outer corner of my eye. Right now, I'm just working on the layers and the transition shades, and I just like to add that first, so then when we go in with the deeper shades, everything just flows smoothly. And I'm on my third cup of coffee, so I'm kind of pronouncing things wrong, but I hope you guys can still understand. And yeah, let's get moving. Next, I'm using Sienna. This is like a warmer brown, and I'm just gonna lightly tap this right above Dusty Rose. It just adds some warmth and more depth, and I just love these colors together. So I'm just using very light circular motions and doing that, and then going in with Rustic. I'm gonna place this like on top of the lid, so kind of in the crease area, and just lightly blending that out and like rounding out the edges and making sure everything is really blended out and seamless. Up next, I'm going in with Mulberry, and oh my goodness, this color is so beautiful. I don't have anything like it. It's just such a rich color, and it doesn't go patchy, which is amazing. So after we just blended that into the outer corner of our eye, I'm going in with Sultry and applying that to the center of the lid. These are very, very soft eyeshadows, so you have to be careful with them, otherwise they'll crumble. So after I did that, I'm going in with Bronze to the inner third of my eye, just so I get a nice gradient effect to add a little bit more dimension onto my lid. I don't know if you guys saw the eyeshadow kind of falling over, but yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. I'm going on top of the Sultry eyeshadow with this eyeshadow called... when is the next clip gonna roll? Oh, Rose Pink. So I'm just going on top of Sultry with Rose Pink just to get a little bit more of a gradient effect. And then on top of the bronze eyeshadow, I'm going in with... Still waiting. Fairy. So I'm just doing that. So as you guys can see, it just kind of flows together and everything just kind of works. So after I have everything blended out, I'm going in with Tempura. And every time I say tempura, it reminds me of like the tempura you get like at the restaurant, like the fried veggies. Oh, so good. But anyways, so I'm just applying that to the brow bone, blending out the edges because this is a very pigmented eyeshadow. And then for a little soft brow bone highlight, I'm going in with that shade called Glistening. Going in with Cypress Umber. It's a deep dark brown, and this is going to create more depth in the eye look. Then went in with some eyeliner. You guys can do a regular liner or just winged liner, which is my favorite, so I just went ahead with some winged liner and popped on some falsies, and that is the eye look. Oh, but before that, I got some of the black eyeshadow and smoked out my liner just to give it like more of a sultry, softer look. I love doing my eyes first when I'm doing a dramatic eye look because I just grab a makeup wipe and just remove all of that fallout underneath my eyes. To prime my skin, I'm going in with the MAC Prep and Prime Primer and just applying a thin, even layer all over my face. And going in with the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Foundation. This is one of my go-to foundations. It just looks really nice and beautiful on the skin. It photographs great. It never fails me. And I'm using the Morphe sponge, which is okay. I thought it was going to be softer, but moving on, I'm going in with the LA Girl Pro Conceal in Toast to cream contour. And then once I did that, I am going over everything with a sponge just to make sure there aren't any harsh lines. I really like the sponge to clean up like my contour and stuff, but it's not as soft as I thought it would be. To conceal underneath my eyes, I'm going in with the Model's Own Cover It Concealer, and I do a pea-sized amount, and this is literally how far the product goes. Like, look at this. I still have more product for like my T-zone and stuff. It's crazy, like full coverage. So I'm just applying that underneath my eyes first, just to conceal like that darkness that I have. And then to brighten, I'm going in with the Covergirl Healthy Vitalist Concealer. I talked about it in my favorites video, and this stuff is bomb. And then to bake underneath my eyes, I'm going in with the Pixie powder, which is one of my favorite drugstore translucent powders. Like, it's so good. And while that is just kind of doing its thing, I'm going to quickly bronze and contour my face using the Benefit Hoola bronzers. I'm going in with the lighter shade to bronze my skin, and then the original shade to contour, and then going back in with the Pixie powder. I'm just going to bake and clean up underneath my eyes. Before we move on to the rest of the face, I want to just quickly do my lower lash line, and I'm just using those 4 matte shades and just smoking out my lower lash line. Pop in a little bit of the lightest shade in the palette on my inner corner just to brighten it up. And then for blush, I'm going to use this Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush. Oh, it's such a pretty color. I'll have the shade down below in the description, but it just like gives my face life, and I love it. This is a new product by Nars, and it's their highlighters, and I love this because the formula is so natural on the skin and it still gives you such a beautiful glow from within, and I just really been loving it. To line my lips, I'm just using this MAC lip pencil, going in with the MAC lipstick in Creme Cup, I think, yeah. And this has been like one of my first MAC lipsticks that I purchased, and like you guys can just see that I like used a lot of it. And then I'm going in with this Fenty Gloss Bomb by Rihanna. I love this gloss so much. It just makes your lips look so full and pouty. And then I'm gonna set everything with the MAC Fix Plus to just like mix all the powders together, and then that is the finished look. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you did, and hit that subscribe button down below, and I will just catch you guys in my next video. Bye guys.